What's up, ladies and gentlemen, back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing a movie review on Play Dirty, starring Mark Wahlberg, LaKeith Stanfield, Rosa Salazar, Keegan-Michael and Tony Shalhoub. This film was directed by Shane Black, and it is based off of the book series Parker by Donald E. Westlake under the pen name Richard Stark. Now, this film, and I guess you say this book series, is basically following the whole heist formula. This is a heist action thriller. And what happens, I guess, storyline-wise, I guess in this film in particular, is that Parker, played by Mark Wahlberg, ends up pulling off a heist. And then after the heist is pulled off, and they split the money, he starts, talking about how, they got away and all this other stuff. And then he gets double crossed by Zen, played by Rosa Salazar, who ends up killing off his whole entire crew and attempts to kill him. So after he, I guess, is like left for dead, she kind of moves off to her own thing and starts playing a whole completely different heist. And after he's already fully healed up, he ends up tracking her down. And just right when he's about to put an end to it, she ends up offering him a chance to compete in this new heist, which is bigger than the previous heist. Because in the previous heist, they were just, it was about robbing money. Well, for her, this next one was, them robbing an entire country by trying to steal this ancient artifact, this relic piece that is, timeless throughout history and whatnot. So they end up putting up a whole new crew together, and that's how we end up getting introduced to LaKeith Stanfield's character. And in between all that, you do get your introduction of Tony Shalhoub, who is kind of like, I guess, like the antagonist of this movie. But no, it has a pretty cool cinematic animated intro along with like jazz music playing and whatnot. There are elements of comedy in this movie. I just watched the trailer of the movie. It made it look like it came off as like an action comedy or action thriller comedy. But overall, when I watch it, for the most part, it's pretty much, a heist action thriller. It's not a straight up action comedy like when I was reviewing Playdate last week, starring Kevin James and Alan Richardson. Richardson. This is a straight up, heist action thriller that does have comedy elements here and there, But you do see some of the chemistry, I guess, Mark Wahlberg and LaKeith Stanfield have with each other as their, kind of like partners in this whole thing. And then you kind of wonder where things are going to go, especially after Zen, wiped out his entire crew and then attempted to kill himself. You wonder how things are going to wrap up at the end when it comes to that. Because, the person he's working with is the one that wiped out his entire crew and is trying to work with him to pull off this next successful heist and whatnot. So, you see how it all plays out, full circle and whatnot. But it does have a good line of actors and actresses in this film. Of course, like I said, Mark Wahlberg is the lead. He plays Parker himself. And then, LaKeith Stanfield is like his partner, his sidekick. And then you see him trying to figure out how he can work out his trust issues with Zen, played by Rosa Salazar, after she double-crossed him. And then I guess there's also shared history between Parker and Tony Shalhoub's character, because they do mention that in the movie, you know, and wondering how it's all gonna be once they collide again. Overall, I didn't think this was a pretty bad movie. It's like a popcorn flick, you know, like you go ahead and get your popcorn and drinking and kind of enjoy the ride. Um, but yeah, they have some pretty cool, I guess, action sequences in there, and you do get, I guess, invested in the characters on where they're gonna go next, because they all have different, I guess, they got their own different way of doing things. Each character, so then their motives all differ when it comes to the story of the movie, and then how it's all gonna play out. Um, but I definitely, I guess, enjoyed this much more than I did, I guess, than I did watching Playdate, starring Kevin James and Alan Richardson. Because it was real consistent with its formula. It didn't really go off. It didn't go off the rails in the third act like how Playdate did when I was watching that film. The previous week. But no, this one, is kind of just straightforward with its formula and its storytelling. And, it gets down and basically straight to the point. And also, it's a longer movie, too. This movie's like at least 2 hours and I believe 8 minutes long. But well invested, I did, I did enjoy it. This film was, filmed in Sydney, Australia, and in parts of New York City. And I believe there was also some in-studio shots that were filmed as well. But I didn't think this was a bad Mark Wahlberg flick. I actually pretty much enjoyed it. And it's all not the same, it's also, Mark Wahlberg's not really new to what when it comes to heist movies, because then you got other films he did earlier on in his career, such as like the Italian Job, and then of course movies like Pain and Gain, Pain and Gain was actually based on a real story. But let's get down and straight to ending this video. I really didn't think this was a bad flick. I enjoyed it overall, so I'm gonna give it my final grade for Play Dirty, starring Mark Wahlberg, LaKeith Stanfield, Rosa Salazar, Keegan-Michael Key, and Tony Shalhoub. I give Play Dirty a B. Have you guys seen Play Dirty, starring Mark Wahlberg and LaKeith Stanfield? Let me know. Comment below. If you want to see more movie and TV show reviews like this, I have a whole catalog you can check out here on the channel, as well as other numerous content, such as my DVD and Blu-ray haul videos, my Fun Adventures YouTube vlogs, and other numerous contents. If you want to stick around for more, then make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys around for the next video. Have a good day now. Peace.